I think that everyone should have the same opportunity for education as the next person. I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't be that way. I don't see why it shouldn't be that way, because when everyone has the same opportunity to make this a great place, then, I mean, like, simplistically speaking, I suppose that would give it a greater chance of being a greater place.
That there is one single problem is what we want people to focus on. There's many things that go into that. There's capitalist structures that are kind of embedded in that process. So to say that there's one thing, I would say is fundamentally problematic in that sense. There's so many things that intersect that create and re-perpetuate forms of oppressed ways of thinking. Right? These are the discursive, hegemonic processes that go into oppression in class-based systems. And so I think part of this is that there's multiple systemic things and importantly, I think regional issues that are kind of going on to recognize the varied ways that things go into this process of what the struggle is at the time.
The culture of the youth is very much shifted from a very African perspective to one that has adopted a lot of the values of the West. Whether it is good or bad, we can see it manifesting in different ways. If you look at the youth specifically in the areas we have visited right now, issues of identity has come in, which of course is linked to culture.
Forced oppression, racist segregation, sexist ideologies, rampant homophobic, all these kinds of issues, that is what's claimed, like that is what we're doing.
With regard to economics, of course it's comparable to America. It's very neoliberal capitalist system that tries to throw in a bit of social welfare, you know, in small doses, not as very streamlined, very structured as it is in America, but there is a bit of assistance that's given to people in the lower end of the economic spectrum, for lack of a better word. They get a bit of stipend, which is by no means enough to sustain a family.
See, these people live there, they don't have electricity, they don't have running waters, they don't have toilets. So the riot was because of that.
All of these things are a contextual environment that go into the systems of oppression that we as Americans, as a nation, nationally, perpetuate and claim as the greatest part.
If you look at the importance of academic education, it's your ticket out of poverty.
Schools, they're zoned in specific ways to give access and more money and more tax dollars to specific schools, which causes inequity. They're also formed in certain ways where certain teachers go to certain schools. We have like dump schools, right, where if a teacher isn't forming or not doing maybe the best things they need to do, they get dumped in lower socioeconomic schools. And so maybe the education they are getting, the access that they're getting is maybe not the best or the highest quality. I think that's a school system, a national school system that things need to be addressed, but they're regional as well, they're local as well, so along those lines. If we have uneducated kids who aren't able to have access to food, to fresh water, to basic health care, it's kind of hard to maintain, well, what should I struggle for, right? What larger frames of thinking can I work in and against?